Hey guys, welcome back. Jim and Doug Show. Believe
Yes.
it or not, partner, episode number 35.
Yes.
How about that?
Time flies, man. But
Yep.
yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed 35. Hoping for 35 more and more after that. So
You bet.
where are we starting here?
Well, why don't we start with baseball? We got a World Series coming up, so I think that's worth talking about.
Yes, for sure.
Good call by you on the Dodgers in 7. I didn't see that happening, but
you know what? I really impressed with their pitching. You know, and they have a ton of guys that they throw at you. You know, obviously Kershaw at the top, but this kid Walker Buehler is really good, and he really showed. You know, for a rookie to pitch a Game 7 on the road, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head how many times that's happened, but probably a very rare occurrence that a rookie gets the win in a Game 7 on the road.
oh yeah, he came up huge for them, and hey, they shut the Brewers down. The Brewers were hot, and you know, you're right. The pitching slowed them down. They kind of shut them down 2 out of the last 3 games. So.
Yeah, and they were good. You know, in the postseason, it's you know they did it with the home run a little more than than not, but they came up clutch in the postseason, and postseason's all about getting those timely hits, hits with guys on base, moving guys over, and they did that. They were able to do that, and they hit a couple 3-run homers and a 2-run homer, I think, in the what was it, 3-run homer and a 2-run homer, I think, in Game 7. But besides that, they were able to put rallies together, get guys on. They have always had guys on base, so.
Yeah, no, it was actually a good series. I mean, anytime it goes 7 games, it's pretty exciting. But let's go to the American League, and like I said, I got to say I had the Astros as well because I thought their pitching would dominate. But you know what? I mean, the Red Sox are loaded. I mean, that lineup is from top to bottom. They can all hit, and I'm not surprised, right? We said, hey, they're the best team in baseball, no question.
Yeah.
And they showed that they could beat good pitching, and they did, and it should be a great series.
Yeah, I think this is a longer series too. I think the danger for the Red Sox is they overcame it against Houston. Losing one of those first 2 at home is always tough. Because you can go anywhere and get swept in a series on the road, and with this 2-3-2 format, Boston, it's pretty important for them to win those first 2 at home if they can. And facing Kershaw first game is not going to be easy, as we know, but protecting home field is important, especially Game 1. So having to go to LA for 3 games, they did it against Houston very easily. They swept them, but it's not easy to go on the road in the playoffs.
No, it's not. But if it goes that route and they end up back in Boston, I can't see them losing at home.
No, I can't either. And that's my prediction. I think Boston's going to win in 6 games. I hope the Dodgers make it a better series than that, and hope we get 7 games. And obviously, as a Yankee fan, I'm not rooting for Boston, but if I got to put my money down and I got my life dependent on it, I'm going to pick Boston.
Right, we're baseball fans first and foremost. So I mean, I think
that. Well, I'm a Yankee fan. I'm a Yankee fan first and foremost, but I can respect a good team, and they are a damn good team.
They sure are. So that should be exciting. And yeah, I can't see it not. Nobody's going to blow anybody out. So it's going to go at least 6, maybe 7. But if it goes back to Boston, I got to give the Red Sox the edge there.
Yeah, the thing with the Dodgers is they're. You don't see this a lot in the World Series when when the NL team has to come to the AL park and they get the DH. The Dodgers are loaded with hitters, and they have like all-stars sitting on the bench. So they're pretty well equipped to play in the AL park.
That's a good point, though, because you're right. It's gonna be 3 games with no DH for the Red Sox, so they got to do some creative.
Yeah, well, I heard.
Thing.
Well, what they're going to do is they're putting Betts at second base.
Because you can't take his bat out. You got to keep Martinez in. I mean, I think that's a smart move.
And he's played second base in the big leagues before. He actually came up in second base. So that's what I think what they're going to do. They're going to put Betts at second, Martinez in right. They got to do that, and they got to keep Bradley out there because not only does he play elite defense center, but his bat's actually going right now. So they got to keep him in there too.
Yeah, he's very hot right now. He can't sit either. You know,
Yeah.
that's
So
great.
best
You know?
best at second is probably what you'll see over the weekend for the 3 games.
I think Cora's done a pretty good job actually for a rookie manager. Wow.
He's been great. He's been great. I mean, he's been the best rookie manager of the season. I'll say that.
No question.
He's been the hunches that he has and the guys he put started with Holt and Vasquez in the Yankee series, putting them in the lineup, and they paid dividends right away. And moving people around, moves with the bullpen. Boston's bullpen was supposed to be their Achilles heel, and he's been playing that pretty masterfully, especially against Houston. But he didn't get very long starts from guys, and he made the right moves.
Yeah, no, he's going to be the manager of the year, no question about that.
Oh my God, forget it. Yeah, he was great. And like I said, I don't like Boston, but I'll respect it because his managing has been really on point. He has been shooting 100% from the field, I would say.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll talk about it next week, see where we stand, and we'll pick it up then.
Hopefully it's still going. That means it's like at least going to a Game 7.
Yeah, I think so. I think
so. I hope so. Yeah, but I'll enjoy it tomorrow night. Kershaw, I guess, is Sale pitching tomorrow?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know if he's going to go opening the series or not. I don't know.
I'll check for you right now.
They kind of kept it real quiet about what was going on with him. So
yeah, they did. It was weird. I know Kershaw's pitching. Yeah, Sale's pitching. He's in.
Okay.
That's what it says. So Sale, Kershaw, and then we'll go from there. So
that's a good matchup. Good matchup in Game 1.
Sure, Price will pitch the second game, and then they'll go from there. But yeah, good matchup. Looking forward to that. All right, football.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? So we don't have any time on the show today to bitch about the Giants because they don't play till tonight. This is being recorded before that game, so they're spared from my venom this week. But so what games did you check out yesterday?
Yesterday. What did I watch yesterday? Well, I watched the Jets get manhandled by the Vikings.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The Jets are not on that level yet. They're not. The rookie quarterback going against a good defense like Minnesota, that was pretty. And that was one of my picks, by the way. So I hope you had that written down. Minnesota beating up on the Jets in MetLife. So Minnesota did well.
Let me check that. Yeah, you got a pick right this week. How about that?
One pick? What else did I get?
You actually got 2. You had Washington. Over Dallas.
And my miss was
Cleveland at Tampa. You had Cleveland.
Yeah, and I should have won that.
Yeah, it was close.
Cleveland got stopped at the 1-yard line, and I was watching a lot of that game. Cleveland got stopped at the 1-yard line, and then they got the ball back and scored again. They should have been up a touchdown, and or they should have been up at least a field goal. They got stopped at 4th down, so that was a tough loss. So all right, I'll take a 2-1, a highly competitive 2-1. So
well, I was actually 2-1 also. I had Indy routing Buffalo, which they did.
Yep.
Because I don't know what's going on in Buffalo. I mean, they're just.
Well, their quarterback's hurt.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean.
They just don't have talent. They just don't have much talent.
They're like Denver. One week they play well, next week they get annihilated. It's hard to think sometimes.
Well, Denver this week got to play. They just got to play the Cardinals, who are a mess.
Right. But I also told you, I also took Detroit over Miami because I'm not a believer in Miami. I'm not. And I'm not crazy about Detroit, but I think, they've gotten a little bit hotter, so they're good. And I lost on the Eagles, who were winning the whole game, and then they blow a fourth-quarter lead, 17-0 to Carolina. Go figure it out.
Yeah. Carolina, man, late in games they find some magic. I don't know what it is, but they always find the magic. And that was a great game. That Carolina game, the comeback that they made, and with Reed at the end with the interception. That I thought he caught that ball. Did you see that play?
Yeah, he caught it.
I thought he caught that. And they just didn't. I don't know what they saw on their review, but I never saw the ball hit the ground.
I just can't. I don't understand this whole review thing. I mean, when you look at it and it's that clear, and they don't go that route, it just to me doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm
especially when they called it on the field that way.
Right.
There was nothing conclusive to change it, in my opinion. So if you can't definitively say that this needs to be changed, you can't change it. But this is what we go over. You know, I feel like every week there's something going on with the review process with football and or baseball even. You know, these plays that are so close, and like I understand that, you know, the ump's not gonna be able to see everything in real time. You know, there was the play with Betts in the home run with Joe West calling interference.
Yeah, well, actually, let's go back to that. What did you think of that call? Because I actually didn't think that was interference. I mean, the thing was over the wall. The guy didn't reach over. I mean, Betts' glove being, you know, in the stands is, I don't know. I kind of thought it was a bad call.
Here's what I'll say. I think, from what I know, over the fence is fair game. Once it's over the fence, it's fair game for the fan to reach over and catch the ball. That's what I know. That's what I think that the rule is. So
I agree, but I didn't see the guy hit his glove. I mean, Betts' glove was closed before the guy even.
I think he did hit it closed. I think something happened with the glove being closed. I think Betts would have caught it. I do. So if you're gonna take the rule as, would the player have caught that ball? Yeah, he would have caught the ball, but you can't call an out based on a probable catch or a probable play. You can't assume a catch.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
Unless the ball was taken out of his glove, you can't call interference. So if you're going to go
you're
by,
right. I'm not sure it changed the outcome of the series.
It absolutely did not.
No,
But that call, if we're just going to talk about that specific call, I say Betts probably would have caught the ball. So in that sense, the call was right. But the rule is, I think it's fair game over the fence. And the ball, you can't give someone an out when he doesn't catch the ball.
I agree.
So it's kind of like a two-pronged rule.
Yeah.
And so I'll give him credit for making having the guts to make the call, because in essence, Betts probably would have caught it.
Well, like I said, I don't think it would have changed the outcome. But anyway.
No.
So, yeah, there was kind of a strange trade today. Do you see that?
Yeah, Amari Cooper to the Cowboys.
For a number 1 draft pick?
I was shocked. I was thinking maybe a second or a third. A 1 is nuts.
That is absolutely crazy for a guy that he's on concussion protocol first and foremost. And I don't think he's ever really lit up this league to the point where he was like, we got to get this guy. I think Dallas is becoming a little bit desperate here. You know?
Yeah, I'm surprised they made the move. I am. He's had some very good games, but his thing is he's inconsistent. He'll have a great game. Like, I was looking at his stats after I saw it, and earlier in the year he was like 10 catches for 139 yards, and then the next week he had 1 catch for 7 yards.
Yeah,
he doesn't always come to play, and whether it's all on him and not on the quarterback, that's another issue to talk about. But
look, this guy Gruden, he's stockpiling number 1s. He's got 3 next year. I mean,
the next one to go is Carr, I bet you.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be a big fan of David Carr's.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I think he's coming to the Giants. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. You know,
I think he is. Not this season, but next year. I think that's what the move is.
Well, what are we going to have to give up to get him? 2 number 1s? I mean,
no. I don't think so, because he's making a lot of money, and for us to relieve them of that salary, that's gotta have to go with something. So I don't know if the draft picks will be as steep as you think. Or they might just release him too, because they can release him. There's a clause that they can release him and not suffer any cap hit. So he may just be out there for us to get. So
yeah, I don't think the Giants can afford to give away a number 1 draft choice. I mean, either, you know.
No, especially this year's, because it's probably going to be a high pick.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where, you know, if we want to do this, we get this kid Herbert from Oregon or something.
Well, then there's no point in getting Carr. So,
right.
Yeah, exactly. So, but now they're saying, you know, if you want to transition over to college football real quick, now they're saying he might stay. He might stay. I saw a report that he might stay in school now, so that's bad news for us. So what games did you check out for college football? Ohio State went down.
They did. I mean, I guess I had a buddy of mine that kind of called that, and I'm saying, wow, Purdue, huh? And they really took it to them.
They have
a horseshoe. I mean,
they have a high-powered offense. No, Purdue was home.
Oh, Purdue was home. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Purdue has a high-powered offense. I just figured Ohio State would be able to match them because with the weapons they have, the quarterback Haskins. I figured they would be able to match them, but Purdue was just relentless, and then the pick six at the end to seal the win. That was just it was something. So Ohio State,
it really was. It was kind of one of those emotional things where I mean, you had to be rooting for Purdue with that young kid who. He's got cancer and so forth. I mean, wow, that was a pretty powerful moment,
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of it because I was locked in on Game 7, and then I watched the Knicks for a little while, and I wasn't really paying that close attention to the game, and I was kind of just checking the score. But it was definitely I watched the end of it, and it was definitely something. And they're kind of out of it as far as the playoffs. Not out of it, but they're gonna have to beat Michigan. So Michigan Ohio State winner, I bet you is going to end up in the playoff.
Well, I think listen, until Harbaugh proves me wrong, I'm taking Ohio State. He hasn't beaten Ohio State yet, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a couple weeks down the road, and Michigan's got to play Penn State first, which is not an easy game either. So
let's talk about that because Penn State really hasn't been knocking the world on fire lately because. They lost that game to Ohio State, and since then they played kind of a couple mediocre games and barely got out of there alive. So
they lost to Michigan State last week. They lost, so they have 2 losses now. So they're not really in the combo. They can kind of play spoiler, I guess. But yeah, they're an interesting team. You're right. They barely got out of there alive against Indiana. After Franklin, I don't know what this guy is doing with this. Some of the calls that he makes just confuses me. You start with the call against Ohio State, but him not running the ball when he had the ball against Indiana, he threw 3 passes and killed no time. He gave them the ball back, and they almost came back and won.
Yeah, I'm actually still kind of I agree with you that he made some bad calls, but I still think he's the right thing. I just think maybe we overestimated Penn State as being one of the top elite teams in the country.
They're ranked. They're ranked properly, I'll say. They're like 18 around there.
They're down there now.
They're not a contender for the playoff, though, by any means.
And Ohio State dropped down to 11, so that moves the Irish back up to number 3.
Yes. And they got Navy this week, who always gives them problems.
I know. That's why they can't let their guard down because that's always a tough game for them. No question.
There's no way Notre Dame covers that game. They're 22-point favorites. There's no way they cover the spread. No chance.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Navy always plays them tough.
They always seem to play them tough at Notre Dame. I don't know what their record is. Navy's home this week, though.
Yeah, they are. That's a night game. I think it's a night game over there at Navy. So that'll be. I'll keep an eye on it. That's my team, so I'll have that on. But Navy always gives them problems. So I know Alabama's playing LSU this week. So that's a decent game.
Yeah, but I become more and more impressed with this Tua from Alabama. I mean,
he's amazing. He
really is. I mean, I know they're loaded and stuff, but he puts the ball right on the money every single time.
He's so good, and I really wish he was coming out of the draft this year. I really wish he was, because he would be my number 1 for sure, and he can't. He has to stay in college one more year.
Yeah. No, but that's actually some good stuff. So, college football's heating up. Just a real touch base. Let's do our picks for next week for the NFL.
Okay.
All right. I got my 3 picks here. I got Miami at Houston, and I told you I'm not sold on Miami, so I'm taking Houston.
Okay.
I got Tampa Bay at Cincinnati, and hey, listen, Winston can throw for 10,000 yards a week, but I'm not sold on him, and Cincinnati's at home, so I'll take Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And again,
you need that one.
Yeah, and Cleveland's at Pittsburgh. I know Pittsburgh needs that game, and this guy. Listen, I hope they close the door on this guy Bell, because he doesn't show up, he doesn't call them. I wouldn't even let him in the door. I don't think you're losing that much. Connor's holding his own, and we'll see. But I don't know who this guy Bell thinks he is, or who his agent is, but he's playing a dangerous game.
He is, but I think he just wants to get the free agency healthy, so he can get his long-term security. I mean, he's asked for that a couple times from Pittsburgh, never got it. So that's really that's all he cares about.
All right, who do you like? Who do you like this coming week?
All right, so my first pick is a big upset special.
Okay.
I think the Rams are going to take their first loss this week. They got Green Bay. This is Green Bay at the Rams. Green Bay's a 10-point underdog. I think Green Bay's going to go in there and beat them. The Rams are going to take their first loss. That's my prediction. I think Rodgers is going to go in there with something, feeling like he's got something to prove. He's just going to have one of his days where he just can't be stopped.
Okay.
So that's my first pick. My second pick, another road pick. New Orleans at Minnesota. That's the night game this week. I got New Orleans on the road, beating Minnesota. I just like what I see from them right now. They won a tough, hard-fought game yesterday against Baltimore. I feel like they're clicking on all cylinders. Their defense has kind of stepped it up lately, and their offense obviously always dangerous. I don't think that much of Minnesota. I know they beat up on the Jets yesterday, but the Jets.
I think you're right. I think New Orleans is so hot right now that they're on a roll, and I wouldn't even call that a major upset, even though they're playing on the road. But I think I agree with you. I mean,
yeah.
Breeze is playing out of his mind right now. And,
yeah, New Orleans is actually favored by a point, so it's not not an upset. So that's my other pick. And so I'm going to go back to the well with the Indianapolis, or you had Indianapolis last week. I'm going to take them again to beat up on Oakland. Oakland's just, I don't even know what to say about them. They're just a complete mess. Gruden's doing what he had to do, which is clean, which is what the Giants should have done, just clean house. Get everybody out of there, rebuild it from the top, take all these first-round picks and get better. So, having said that, I think Indianapolis goes in there and beats them to a pulp because they just have nothing left. So
I wonder about that one. That's the only one I would tend to think I would go the other way, even though I don't think much of the Raiders and so forth. But I don't think Indianapolis has a lot other than luck, and I just don't know. But you know what? I'm not going to be surprised. I'm really pulling for this guy Luck. I just don't know if he's got the tools around him.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and I'll say that this week he comes through because it's not really much about luck. It's just a much like I just don't think I think the Raiders are quitting on it, quitting on the season. They just don't have much left. Okay.
And tonight, obviously, I think the Giants are going to get run out of the building tonight.
Yep, me too. Me too. I would bet on the Falcons, actually. I really would like to. If I can't bet against my team, but I just don't see any way the Giants stop Atlanta. They don't. They just won't.
I mean, I know that Atlanta's not good, but they got two stud wide receivers and Ryan throwing on the ball. Even if Barkley has a great game and so forth, it's not going to be enough to win on the road.
Atlanta's defense is terrible. So that maybe means that we can maybe get 20 points because our offense is just pathetic.
Right, but Ryan can put up 30 points. So
exactly, and we won't sniff that because we're just pathetic. So the Atlanta, they're going to run all this. They're going to run passes down the middle of the field, right in the middle of the field because we never cover the middle of the field. It's going to be Jones. It's going to be Ridley, Sanu, all of them just. Turning it into the middle of the field wide open. Ryan will hit him there. That'll be the whole game. And I think it'll be 31-17 Atlanta.
I don't disagree with you at all. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
All right, so good. We covered the NFL from top to bottom here. I know you're excited because the NBA started, but I just can't get excited about it. I just can't. I mean.
Well.
And I know it was a big deal with James going out to L.A. and so forth, and that's cool because he's one of the greatest. But how about this brawl thing? I mean,
yeah, I saw it. I was watching that live. I just happened to have it on, and that was actually the first real NBA fight I've seen in a while because they don't really throw punches. Those guys
they don't.
They push and shove a little bit, but. that was punches being thrown. And, it stemmed from someone spitting in someone's face, this and that, which you can't do. So I think that's really why it was really an authentic brawl. It was really technical.
Usually an NBA brawl is they throw a punch while they're backing up.
Yeah.
Well, I think Chris Paul got ripped off. What did he do wrong?
Nothing. Nothing. He got spit in his face, and then I guess he kind of started it a little bit by putting his finger in Rondo's face, but Rondo threw the first punch.
Yeah, I think that was a bad call on the NBA to suspend Paul, especially some guy. He spits in your face. I mean, I don't think there's any recourse. You can't allow that to happen.
He got 2 games. I think he should have got just 1, if that.
Right.
I mean, he did throw a punch in the end, so that's you threw a punch, so that you do get a game. But Rondo got like 4 games?
Yeah, but that was kind of a slap on the wrist. He should have got more.
I thought he was going to get like 7.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes, man.
So how are your Knicks looking? I tell you.
You know what? I like how they look. I'll say that. They looked good the first game, and then the next 2 games they lost by 2 combined. They lost by 2 points each night. And you know what? They're not going to win this year. They're not a good team. They're young. But I like what I see out of them because they play hard and they shoot a lot of 3-pointers, and they've actually been playing some defense. Not in the fourth quarter of games, but the first 3 they've been pretty strong defensively. So I like where they're going. The rebuild is in a good place.
Well, you want to talk about a team with no names on it. I mean, other than Tim Hardaway Jr. And Porzingis. I mean, who else is on that roster? I don't know.
It's all young guys. It's all young guys, man. Knox, he got hurt the last game, but he's on there, and they got a lot of these young guys that are just looking for, you can't. Not everybody can have LeBron James in their team, so you got to find the next one. You got to find the guy that comes out of nowhere to become a star, So that's what they're trying to do.
Well, I don't, like I said, I think this guy Fizdale is kind of the right guy.
I really like him. You know why? Because he blames himself first before the other coaches would blame the players and kind of say that expecting more. They had a chance to beat Boston the other night, and he drew up a play that didn't work. And he took, the first thing he said was, that was my fault. I drew up a bad play. I should have put these guys in a better position to win. He gets it. He gets what it's like to be a coach in New York. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. Obviously, it's only 3 games in, and I don't want to get excited at all. But I do like the direction, and I like the way they played the first 3 games. It's actually been fun to watch. So, during while the Giants are getting killed tonight, I might flip over and watch them.
Yeah, well, I'll do that in case I can't fall asleep. I'll put that game on. I mean, I think we know where the NBA is going, right? I mean, obviously the Warriors are the elite in the West, and there's really nobody. I mean, who else is around? This is an off year for the Spurs, right?
Toronto is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Boston's good too.
Yeah, Boston is good. I think Boston is going to the finals too. They got a lot of good talent.
Don't think about Toronto. Toronto's got Leonard now. Leonard's looking very good coming off that injury. So I think they beat Boston. So I think they'll have a say in the East playoffs. They'll have a say.
All right. Well, we'll see. So, how did your Sparta team do this week?
Well,
we're transitioning to high school football now, and I'll get to the reason why in a second. But I was seeing how you guys did,
Well, they lost to undefeated Randolph last week.
Last week, yeah.
And that was their last test, and I think they played a lesser team and trounced them this week, this last Friday. So now they have 2 losses. I think they're 6-2, so they're heading for the playoffs, I'm sure. But I don't know how high of a seed they'll be. But at least they'll be playoff football.
Well, there's always, like I said, every single week that there's a new number 1 in New Jersey, whether it was St. Joe's or Bergen Catholic or St. Peter's, they get knocked off. A couple of surprises. It happened again. Yep.
Oh no. Who was number 1? The last one you said?
Well, this week the new number 1 is St. Peter's again, who was number 1 to start the season. And guess who they're playing this week?
Who?
St. Joe's.
Oh, okay.
All right. So,
Okay, I remember you saying that now. So you'll be at the game. Now, who did St. Joe's play last week? Because I know you said you were going to go.
I did. They beat up Seton Hall. They weren't really a very good team, so we took care of business there.
So this
And we
is
beat
big week now.
we beat Bosco the week before.
Yeah, that
So,
was the game that you said we were talking about. So
right.
So you guys are hosting St. Peter's?
We are hosting. Yes, we are.
Okay, so that's all the ingredients for an upset right there.
That'll be the game of the week for sure in high school football in New Jersey. No question about that.
All right. So you think you guys got that or what?
I think I'm not going to go out on a limb and say we are because we've been playing really good football lately, and I think I think we can handle it. We've had a history of taking care of St. Peter's, so it should be a great game. It'll be exciting. It'll be a Saturday afternoon kind of thing. It's kind of exciting. Good stuff.
You're expecting the packed house then?
Oh, it should be absolutely biggest game in the state for the week. So.
Right. All right, that sounds good. All right, anything else you want to touch on before we say goodbye?
No, I think we're good. And again, let's just say hi to our sponsors of Lynch Toyota from Manchester, Connecticut, and Harley Davidson of Utica. They've been standing by us the whole time. And again, Dougie, throw out the email because we're looking for you guys to chime in here.
I've been checking. Jim and Doug Show, gmail.com. So, if you want to bring up a topic or you want to make a comment, you want to, make fun of me for my bad picks, go ahead.
No, you were just in a slump, my partner. Don't worry about it. You'll get out of it.
I'm trying. So you can find us there.
All right, guys, signing off, and we look forward to talking to you guys next week again. And if you got anything, so send us an email. We'll bring it up on the air.
All right.
All right, Dougie, be good.
Talk to you guys next week.
Okay.